everybody, and welcome to We Are Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe fan podcast. That is a mouthful. My name is Justin.
My name is Jeremy.
And welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah, this is our third mini-sode.
Yes.
We did Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, and now we're back with a filler, I guess, as it were.
These are kind of our random topic episodes.
Yeah.
Kind of, but yeah, I mean, they're kind of the filler ones in between the movies.
Yeah, so we don't blaze through the movies in 2 months and then have nothing to talk about for the next 12 years.
Ooh, 12-year podcast.
Heck
I
yeah.
like it.
Saying it now.
Yeah, but
Called it.
Yeah, these are fun to do. They're different, and every once in a while we'll come up with interesting stuff. But I don't know
like to think
if
so.
I brought anything interesting to this episode. But we're definitely gonna see.
We're gonna try. We're doing our best.
My biggest goal here is that I click something in your brain that makes you think of something cool, and I can take credit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that works for me, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you want to just jump into it? But I forgot that we're actually gonna kind of change things up, and we're gonna lead off with some news.
Yeah. It was an idea I had the other day, just because these are supposed to be shorter episodes, but we want it to be worth the buck. You know, our movie episodes go for like upwards of 2 hours, but these, I don't remember how long our last ones were. I think they were about like 40 minutes apiece, maybe.
Yeah, 40 minutes, a little under an hour.
Yeah,
or each one. Yeah.
So I mean, we don't want them to drag on too long, but we also want to make it worth you guys coming back, worth us doing the episodes. So we're gonna each mini-sode, we're gonna pick a random topic of news that has happened throughout the lapse in time here, and we're gonna discuss it, and then we'll go into our topic.
Yeah,
which I'm excited for just for the title alone. Sequel pitches. Yeah.
Yes. Wah, 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 wah. I'm going to try and find a way to do that.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Yeah, what do you got for us this week?
This week, the news is already debunked. You know, it's something that they've said isn't happening, but I think it's worth talking about anyway because it was really interesting. There's a rumor that went around that Ms. Jennifer Lawrence was cast as Susan Storm for the John Watts Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I remember you kind of bring this up, and my first response was like, why? Like, why? She's already in X-Men. Then why not just keep her in there, find a way to have her sign a contract for that? But you were like, well, I like the idea. So I guess why would you like that idea?
Because she's great. I mean, it's
that
aside from being, of course, incredibly pretty, she is a great actress. I mean, there's a reason that she keeps getting roles, and it's not just because she looks good on camera. It's because she is good at what she does. And she was great as Mystique, and she was great as Hunger Games Katniss, and all the things that she's done. And I don't know if it's like, oh my God, that's perfect Susan Storm. I still love the idea of them getting Krasinski and Emily Blunt, and because they're married in real life, and having them be, Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic. But
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that is dream casting. Whoever you get for the Thing and Human Torch, whatever. I almost don't care, but Krasinski and Emily as Reed and Sue are what I would prefer. But it just got my mind ticking. Like, it's an interesting idea. She would be good as Susan Storm. Yeah. She's got a bit of an edge and can act much better than Jessica Alba. Well, no shots taken, but just saying, it would be better. And I think, because there's been rumors recently that Chris Evans signed on to come back for a couple cameos or something, and one of the rumors was, well, he might be Johnny Storm in Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, well, if you can do that, and we know that they're going to recast the X-Men, they kind of have to.
Right.
Because all those movies were set in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
I mean, like they cared what decade they were set in, though.
No, but I mean, for continuity's sake and just for streamlining things, I have a very real. And I mean, we have Evan Peters as, fill in Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I guess, if you haven't watched WandaVision. But
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it by now, what the hell are you doing? I think they're going to find a way to multiverse that section of X history.
Okay.
And all of the Fox stuff is just going to be an alternate universe, so they'll probably recast anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if you can have Chris Evans be Cap, but in an alternate universe, he's Human Torch, why couldn't you then have Jennifer Lawrence be Susan Storm, and in an alternate universe, someone that looks exactly like her was Mystique?
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Plus, it's Mystique, so her human form could be modeled after Susan Storm.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Yeah, because, her human form is what she decided.
Yeah.
It is a human form of her blueness, because, it's obviously her underneath it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. That could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, the whole bringing Chris Evans back to redo Johnny Storm, I feel is going to be tough, because, doing our research, I watched a few videos and was reminded just how little Chris Evans was as Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're going to have to use that body double again to shrink him back down.
Well, he's not necessarily in Cap form anymore. He's probably slimmed down to his normal person size.
Normal person, yeah, okay. Well,
not on that Marvel exercise regiment right now, I would think.
Not lifting helicopters.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, it is an interesting idea. So I would like to, but as you said, it's been debunked, so that's not a thing.
Yeah, or is it?
Yeah, I know.
It's Paul Rudd's not playing Ant-Man. Oh wait, Paul Rudd's playing Ant-Man.
Right, yeah. And I feel like they've done that with other things too. Yeah. So yeah, they very well could be, and even in trailers and stuff, they'll add. I think we've mentioned this before. They'll add stuff or take stuff out.
Yeah, and I think we're going to probably end up doing an episode about that eventually, especially towards phase 2. It was like, oh, that was in phase 3. It was, here's a thing in the trailer that's not in the movie, or here's a thing that they took away, like Spider-Man in the Civil War trailers, the twins in it, the Age of Ultron trailers.
Yeah, Hulk and Infinity War.
Yeah,
I think
that one sucked. I was like, oh, cool, Hulk's going to be charging forward, and he wasn't even. The Bruce thing was awesome, but it was like, wait, where was Hulk?
Yeah, I know.
Like, that whole charging scene didn't even happen.
No, I don't
None of it did. Because they were all separated by the time he got to Wakanda.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well.
Still a great movie.
Still great. Yeah, I was going to say, still great. All right. Well, let's jump into the topic then.
What is it called?
Sequel pitches. Yes. Perfect. So yeah, what we decided to do is we took 3 movies each that we want to see. First of all, see a sequel to. These are all going to get sequels. We know that
in one way or another.
Our idea, yeah, but kind of our idea of what the movie would be.
Right.
So we kind of did. It looks like we both kind of did almost elevator pitches, just some quick little things of, hey, here's my idea. And we'll kind of riff off of that and see where it goes.
Yeah. 2 of the movies we picked were the same, and then one was different. So I guess we can start. Let's start with one of the ones that we had as the same, and then we'll end with Avengers 5. Because
sounds good.
That was the one I figured we would have the same anyway. I just didn't think we'd have the same idea.
Yeah. We'll see how exact it is. I'm sure it's not, but if it is, just so you all know, we didn't share these with each other beforehand. Yeah. I just asked beforehand, hey, did you talk about this? He said yes. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. So the first one we're going to talk about is
Captain Marvel 2. Obviously, we're getting a Captain Marvel 2. Teyonah Parris is going to be in it. Bree's back. It seems as though it's going to be set now.
Mm-hmm.
My idea for Captain Marvel 2 would have been set in the early 2000s. Like before Iron Man, but obviously after Captain Marvel 1.
Yeah, okay.
So in that...
kind of, hey, where have you been?
Yeah. Yeah, this would be
here's
the
where she's
explaining
been.
of where she has actually been.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So my quick elevator pitch, and I'll riff a little bit more off of it, is early 2000s, Carol has gathered the remaining Skrulls with Talos to take down the Kree and their forces, which would explain their diminished state in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Because by the time we get there, Ronan is like, in Captain Marvel, Ronan is part of the Honor Guard. He's an accuser. But in Guardians, he's like a zealot who's crazy and outside of the Kree people. So my hope would be that it would kind of explain that.
Okay.
And I was thinking they could introduce the Super Skrulls, which is an awesome thing. They essentially genetically engineer Skrulls to have superpowers. The most famous one has all 4 powers of the Fantastic Four.
Oh.
So he has an arm that's a rock. He can stretch. He can catch on fire. Like, he can just sort of alternate between all the powers of the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
And then it would also introduce the Kree Sentry, which is a big-ass robot that the Kree use to fight. And we would finally get to see the actual look of the Supreme Intelligence.
Oh, nice.
Which, for those that don't know, in the movie Captain Marvel, it was just what's her face, whose name I don't remember. But it was supposedly you saw the person you most admire, which in Carol's case was Marvel.
Yeah.
In comics lore, the Supreme Intelligence is just a giant floating head with creepy tentacles coming out the top. Think like Zordon from Power Rangers, but really fat and gross with big tentacles coming out of its head.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So you would hope to see that on screen for this.
Yeah. And I hope we still do. Like, I really hope at some point we get to see that, because that would be a really cool reveal.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
That's my sequel, bitch. Pitch.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, did you? I like that. That was good. It worked. All right, cool. Okay, so here's mine. I'm not sure what we'll think about it. So, all right, here's my kind of elevator pitch, and I'll probably need your assistance on kind of riffing on this.
That's what I do.
All right, so we got Monica Rambeau as Spectrum, teams up with Carol to help fight in the Skrull versus Kree battle. Monica is still upset that Carol never came back, so Carol tells her to come see what she's been doing to show her why she couldn't leave them to come back to Earth. While Carol was gone, tensions were heating up between the Skrull and Kree, so that's kind of why they're now in this big battle. So it kind of it touched on base on the whole Skrull Kree battle thing, and so then we would get Monica Rambeau as Spectrum, which we're getting now. Again, spoilers. We apologize for any WandaVision fans that aren't caught up. You should be.
I was going to say, if you're a fan, you should be caught up. By the time this comes out, episode 8 will have aired.
Yes,
because that's out tomorrow. So
yeah,
come on,
that's true.
What you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So so that'll kind of show what she's been doing. Maybe we can have some flashbacks of what she's been up to. Maybe we'll flash back into your movie. It'll just be like a 4-hour movie.
That'd be cool. Just do that.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. So it'll be something like that where it kind of just shows what she was doing while she was there, and bringing in Monica Rambeau Spectrum into the whole mix, and then we get the Skrull versus Kree battle.
I have a feeling that's pretty close to what might actually happen.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I can't. I'm not really sure what exactly areas they're going, and I feel like there's another character that's been announced for Captain Marvel 2 that's a bit of a wrench in that idea, but the Kree Skrull War was just kind of tossed up there and then left.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was excited. Like we're gonna see it. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna happen, and it was just like mentioned in passing almost.
Yeah, and I mean the war in the comics is kind of lame and confusing, but
Okay.
to do it in movies, to streamline it and have it, make sense, could be really cool. And the way they teed up the Skrulls to kind of be good guys, which is not a thing in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the original evil villain aliens of the Marvel Universe.
Right.
They were the first ones. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope we get Kree Skrull War, some sort of resolution there, and because I know we're getting Secret Invasion in Disney Plus, which is a big Skrull thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it would. I think the best option is to mash our two together.
I like that.
Because
yeah,
I mean, there's still that question of what the hell was she doing for 20 plus years while,
Yeah, and all she really mentions is, there's a lot of corners in the galaxy that don't have people like you guys. And she was mentioning the Avengers, or talking to them, and it's like, okay, that's it. That's all we're gonna know about it. That's all we got to talk about. That's it.
And that's fine for that movie, but we need an answer. Right. And I think the way that they have Monica react to Captain Marvel's name in WandaVision, like there's something going on. She's definitely got some animosity there.
Yeah, and is it just because she didn't come back, and because she has? I'm sure they haven't talked.
Yeah,
and so she could have just slowly been building up this anger towards her. Oh, she never came back. She left. My mom passed away. She didn't even show up for that. Nothing.
Yeah.
So it could be a lot of just build up, and this will be one way to kind of show the backstory. Well, here's why.
Yeah.
I couldn't just take off. These people needed me, and kind of answer all that stuff too. So yeah, I think it could work.
Yeah, because I mean, by the end of, not to keep going on this because we got several more to do, but at the end of Captain Marvel, she took Talos and the Skrulls off on that ship, and then in Far From Home, Talos is on Earth impersonating Nick Fury, and Fury's up in space with the rest of the Skrulls. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like
they're awesome scenes, but what?
Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be cool to see. Maybe, I don't know, touch base on who else is sitting around still pretending to be other people and all that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
now our next one.
Yeah, so this one's going to be different. I'll pitch mine, and then you can pitch yours. It's different movies here. All right. Mine is for an Incredible Hulk 2, which is never going to happen, but we are getting a quasi-sequel with the She-Hulk Disney Plus show, which is supposed to be filming pretty soon.
Right on.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
All right, give me your elevator pitch.
All right. Our main villain is the leader, Samuel Stearns, who was infected with gamma blood from Bruce at the end of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, let me just throw this in real quick. If you didn't listen to our last episode, The Incredible Hulk, give that a listen. You'll know a little bit more about him.
This is true. Pitch.
Yes.
Samuel Stearns breaks out of custody with newfound telepathic and telekinetic powers and becomes the leader. He enlists Abomination and releases a gamma bomb to turn the world into gamma monsters, which will then create Absorbing Man and Doc Samson. Doc Samson would end up helping Hulk win the inevitable fight, and Absorbing Man could be a good tee-up for a third movie down the line.
Awesome. I like that, actually.
It's very much lifted from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Gamma World series of episodes there. If you haven't watched it, it's on Disney Plus. Go watch it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it gives you that excuse to have Hulk fight a bunch of monsters, and you can have different characters turn into hulked out monsters that Hulk has to stop. And then, of course, all the effects of the gamma bomb will get reversed by the end of the movie. And so the normal people will turn back to normal, and the villains will stay that way.
I like it. Yeah, and it'll finally, show us that kind of, I guess, teaser that they showed us in Incredible Hulk of Stern getting that stuff in his head, and his head starting to
Bubble.
to wig out. Yeah, Bubble. Yeah, so that'll finally answer that question.
Yeah, I
Bring
mean,
Abomination
because
back.
the only close that we got to it, and I mentioned this, I think, in the last episode, is the Fury's Big Week prequel comic
That's right.
to the first Avengers movie, and it shows that Stern is in S.H.I.E.L.D. custody.
Right.
And it shows him with a big, bulbous Hector Hammond style head, and
Yeah.
he's just there.
Yeah. And I mean, that'll still work. That'll will be, like you mentioned, it's going to kind of see him there and break out. So nice. I like it.
Thank you.
I can work with that.
And who knows? I mean, we
Yeah,
know
it would be
Abomination
nice.
is in She-Hulk, so I know we won't get Gamma World, but it'd be interesting to see where they end up going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because these things are with WandaVision, it's like this is big stuff that they're doing in TV. It's not like the Flash or something where it's just a weekly bad guy and we'll defeat him by the end of the episode. Don't worry. Like, this is an overarching thing that's there's a lot to it, a lot to digest in these episodes.
Yeah, and they're going to be impactful and important. I was reading an article with an interview from Kevin Feige where he's like, we have to kind of toe that line for people who haven't seen the Disney Plus stuff, so that when we see Wanda in Doctor Strange 2, it makes sense if the last place you saw her was Endgame.
Right, yeah.
But if you've seen WandaVision, you also have to pay that off for the people that did watch it and go, oh, this is where she is now. So it's going to be interesting to see in 2 weeks when this ends, like, where she's left off.
Yeah, like how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
What if I didn't see this whole series? Is where I see her next going to make any sense?
And I have a feeling they're going to explain it, because I mean, this is a big deal. If you haven't watched WandaVision, stop listening, go watch WandaVision, and then come back and keep listening, because we want your listens, please.
That's right.
But it's not little piddly stuff. This isn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where it doesn't really matter, or, as much as I love it, Daredevil, where, it's connected, but is it though?
Right, yeah.
Like, nothing the Defenders did matters in the MCU.
No.
But this does.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
it's cool. It's awesome that they're doing it. So I'm excited. Okay, now we'll go with mine. I decided to do Black Panther. So the sequel to Black Panther. Here's my little elevator pitch, I guess. I don't know if I wrote this one in elevator pitch style, because I started off with a quote. The quote is, "Bury me in the ocean." So at the end of Black Panther 1, T'Challa ends up putting Killmonger in the ocean like his ancestors before him. Then we go follow him down, and Namor ends up finding him and bring him back to life. I decided it goes back to life. I don't know how they would do that, so maybe not.
Because you just want to see Killmonger come back?
Maybe. I mean, yes. So then I got a couple options here. So then either Killmonger is tortured or brainwashed into telling secrets of Wakanda, or Killmonger is found by someone who wants to end Namor's reign, and Killmonger tells them about Wakanda. You got anything more you can add with that? I mean, I love the idea of him actually, burying him in the ocean like he wanted. And this helps us bring in Namor, because Namor's in the ocean, so he finds him.
Yeah.
And they can have some sort of big battle. I haven't figured out the way to replace T'Challa. I mean, so I didn't put that in.
Sure.
I don't know if maybe they come back, they find out T'Challa, something happened to him, and now Killmonger he's like, I've seen my wrongs, so now I will become the Black Panther. That's one way.
Sure.
Just thought of that myself now.
Good job.
What do you got?
I don't want to see Killmonger come back.
I hate you.
It's not because I don't like him. I think he did a phenomenal job, and that's why I want him to stay dead, because as soon as you start to bring back dead characters in a way that's not necessary, like a WandaVision, it diminishes their death. And the sacrifice that sacrifice in air quotes, but what he decided, his decision at the end, because he could have saved his own life, and been like, okay, yeah, take me down to the lab, take this giant sword thing out of my chest, and, you know, put me in jail, fine. But he
Yeah.
decided to do the honorable thing and go, you know, I took my shot, I failed. This is the way it has to be. And if you bring him
Okay.
back, that doesn't matter.
That's fair. I can't argue with that.
But Submariner's...
As much as I'd like to see him back, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
But Submariner's absolutely what I want to see happen for Black Panther 2. And I will actually... At this point, I put it in my head so much that I will be disappointed if they don't do Submariner.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, the tricky thing here is... And I'll do some Marvel geeking here. So when Marvel went bankrupt in the 90s, they sold all the rights to their characters for movies. And Submariner has been owned by Universal. That's why we haven't seen a Submariner movie. That's why we haven't seen a Hulk sequel, because it's owned by Universal. Now that it's owned by Disney, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But Submariner is like the second Marvel superhero ever. He was created after the original Human Torch that was the android and before Captain America. You know. So and he's essentially Marvel's Aquaman, but he came first and is, in my opinion, cooler.
All right.
But, I mean, because they dropped that hint in Endgame of an earthquake at the bottom of the ocean, and we handle it by not handling it. It could have just been, you know, Black Widow's trying to micromanage everything, and Okoye is just like, it was an earthquake. There's nothing we can do. It was just an earthquake.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, comic book fans being who we are, we tried to dissect it, and as soon as we heard Under the Ocean, we went, Submariner?
Yeah. Yeah. So any line, it's like, okay, who could it be? A superhero? No. Okay. Next line. Who could it be? Namor.
But this could very well be a Hulk situation where we can use him in other movies. He just can't have his own.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love the idea of Atlantis going to war with Wakanda.
Okay.
I think that's fantastic. And
it'd be awesome.
I think a way to work in the death of Chadwick could be that's why Namor has chosen this time to take advantage.
Okay, so they don't really have a leader right now.
Yeah,
T'Challa just passed away for some reason.
Yeah, and they can figure that out, whether he passes away in battle or he got sick like he did in real life, and they just couldn't cure him. I'm not sure what that answer is.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
that's a tough one to answer.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it would be an interesting way to do it. Is like, okay, Wakanda's in a weaker position, so Namor and the Atlanteans use that to their advantage. I've also seen rumblings that they could be using Doctor Doom, and he's the king of Latveria, and he might be manipulating Submariner and causing him to attack Wakanda so that Doctor Doom can then take control.
Okay.
Which could be really cool.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could easily just say, have Submariner drop a line of like, I was informed that you Wakandans did this, and now I'm out for revenge. And the informant at the end post-credits is Doom.
I like that.
But, yeah, Wakanda versus Atlantis is what I want to see. I don't know how they could do anything but that if they have access to the character.
I know, yeah. I'd love to see it. So, all right. Fair enough.
Fair enough. So our next one, last one, winding down, is our conjoined pitch for Avengers 5. This wasn't planned, but we did essentially come up with more or less the same idea.
Yeah, well, at least the same kind of villain. We'll see how we get there for each one, I guess.
Right. But it's just, to me, it's the most logical step. After what happened in Endgame, there's really no way they could not have the next villain be Kang the Conqueror.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as you touch time travel in the Marvel Universe, it's Kang the Conqueror.
Yep. Yeah.
There's just no way around it. And it might be that he's the next super Thanos big bad, and we don't get him for a couple of Avengers movies.
Okay.
But we do know that he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Okay.
I don't remember who's playing him. It's the guy from Lovecraft, I think.
You want me to look it up while you
Sure.
continue?
You have access to a computer. Yeah, so we know he's going to be in that. That was announced at the big Disney Plus Marvel Announce Everything-a-con. There's rumblings that he's going to be in the Loki show. The TVA, Time Variance Authority, has ties to Kang and his descendants and different versions of Kang throughout different timelines.
Yeah. Is it Jonathan Majors?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay. That's what I'm getting.
I have no idea. I'm just pretty sure he's the guy from Lovecraft, which I have not watched.
All right, fair enough.
So I see it being a lot like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek from 2009 with Nero.
Okay.
So I have, after Kang discovers the secret to the Avengers' time travel in Endgame and Ant-Man 3, he takes revenge on them for destroying the timeline and his future, much like Nero in Star Trek. Which is more or less his thing.
Yeah.
In Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the idea is the event, because of something that Captain America does, the Kree-Skrull War gets out of control and Earth is destroyed.
Okay, right.
I don't know all of the comics lore, but the idea that because of what the Avengers have done or might do in the future, it destroys his reality and his future. That's why he's come back.
Okay. Yeah. These are lots more similar than I expected. I'll give you my pitch when I go.
Go ahead.
Is that
That's all I got.
I didn't know if you had more.
That's it.
Okay.
I didn't mean to bamboozle.
Oh, you had the phone. I thought you had more to read. So
I was pulling up stuff for the next one.
All right, fair enough. Okay. So I'll give you my kind of elevator pitch here too. But I want to preface this with, I don't know a lot about the character King the Conqueror, but during my research, which is another reason I kind of like these side topics, is that I can learn more about the comics. I guess not really the MCU yet, but these are obviously the future movies to a T. So here's kind of what I got after researching a little bit. Time travel has messed up King the Conqueror's timeline. It took a loved one away from him. He then vows to fix it. He finds out the Avengers are responsible and begins messing with them and their lives. The Avengers have to stop King before he goes too far and tries to end all timelines except the one he deems perfect.
I like that. It's essentially the same thing, but
yes, I know. As you were saying it, I'm like, yep, yeah, and yes.
Yeah, but I like your little tagline at the end there. That's nice.
I know, yeah, thank you. As I was typing that, I was like, God, you're brilliant.
Yes, you are. Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Yeah. It reminds me, did you ever watch the DC animated movie Crisis on Two Earths with James Woods as Owlman?
I don't know for sure. I know I watched a few of them. You wanted me to watch them all. Couldn't do them all.
Yeah, I remember that. That episode.
I don't remember for sure, but I know we've talked about that.
Yeah. The idea is that there are multiple universes in the. Of course, I'm jumping ship and going DC here, but the idea was Owlman, who is an evil version of Batman in an alternate universe, was going to destroy all of the other universes because it was the only thing that could really be impactful.
Okay.
Basically, for every action you take, there's an alternate universe where you took the exact opposite action.
Right.
So none of your choices matter because you've made all of the choices.
Right. It just went in two directions when you made the choice.
Right. So Owlman's idea is, I'm going to destroy all of the multiverses because that is the only choice that one can make that will actually have an effect, because you'll wipe out everything.
Okay, yeah.
And that's kind of the idea of this, but, much crazier version, where he's trying to destroy all of the different alternate timelines that have been created and find the one that he deems perfect.
Beautifully said at the end there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to, how they mentioned it in Endgame, how if you're taking the stone from here, that it was now an alternate timeline, because that timeline doesn't have the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of those events kind of messed up with King the Conqueror. And I'm going with in the future.
Yeah.
So then he kind of time travels back and realizes this is what happened. The Avengers are responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to mess with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the backstory there.
Yeah, and I mean, that is more or less what he does, and he is from the future. No matter how you shake it, he is a character who, and in some iterations, I think he is a descendant of the Richardses.
Yes, I did hear that, yeah, from Reed Richards. And another one, he's
Nathaniel Richards.
a descendant from, yes.
Yeah.
And another one, he's from, I think, a descendant of Dr. Doom. I think I saw that somewhere.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
wacky time travel shit, so it doesn't matter. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's the logical thing to do. And like I said, as soon as you touch time travel in the Marvel Universe, you have to do Kang. And they are doing Kang. Yeah. He's going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. It's just a matter of how much is he going to be in the MCU.
Right. Is he going to be in that as the same way Thanos was in other movies, where it's just a small part where it pays off later on in other movies? Or will he more of a main villain?
Yeah, will it be more of a Loki who's, screwing things up for quite a while, then makes his big reveal.
Right.
And maybe sticks around after that, too. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's it.
I like it.
I like it.
Yes,
I don't see them not doing that. As soon as they said Kang is going to be an Ant-Man, it's like, oh, well, I mean, you have to eventually make him an Avengers-level threat, because he is.
Yeah. He's too big.
Yeah. Like, I almost see Scott Lang not making it through that movie, because he could be that big of a threat.
Wow.
I doubt they'll kill off Paul Rudd, but
I know, he's great.
We'll see.
All right. Nice. So yeah, that was our sequel pitches.
Sequel pitches.
Wah, wah, wah. It's more like wah, wah, wah.
It's over. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We did. That was a lot of fun. I don't know how long.
It was. I liked. Not too long, to be honest, but that's okay.
We still breezed through.
We're not going to ramble on to make it longer.
Yeah. But we're going to get the point across.
Yeah, and I do find it funny that we didn't. We talked about the same movie, but us using the same kind of things was a lot more. It was a lot closer than I expected. So I find that kind of funny.
Well, I'm teaching you. You're learning.
Yeah,
you're becoming the master.
Oh man, beautiful! Finally, about time.
It only took 10 years, but we got there, and I'm proud.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. All right. So our next episode is going to be, what do we title? Do we have a clever title for that one?
I don't think so.
My notes, I just call it Old Marvel Movies. So essentially what we decided to do is how would the old Marvel movies fit into the MCU?
Right.
Whether it's in a big way, in a small way, it's a small part, it's a name drop, whatever it is. We decided to kind of pick ways that they would fit in.
Yeah. I don't know how you ended up doing it, and obviously we'll talk about it here when we record that episode. But yeah, we've decided to figure out different cameos and inserts of dialogue and, Easter eggs and whatnot that could fit it in. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Me too. So yeah, until next week when you guys listen to that one, you can reach out to us. We are Marvel Pod on Facebook, Twitter. That's our email. It's at Gmail. So yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you thought of this one. what you thought of any of the episodes we've listened to before, you've listened to before, and let us know if you have any ideas. We'd love to have you reach out, and we'll do a little side episode or whatever we're calling these on your topic.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have the season kind of planned out, but that can always change. We can shift stuff around. The only thing that's set in stone is the movies at the top of each month. So aside from that, it's all fair game. And we definitely want to hear from you. Please give us a review if you can, if you like, over on the iTunes specifically, because that really helps us boost up in the ratings, and people can find us a lot easier if we have a ton of ratings and reviews. So and thank you to those of you that have already.
Yeah, please, do that. It really helps us out.
Oh.
Tell your friends too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, until next time, I've been Jeremy.
And I've been Justin. And we will see you next time. Bye.